Hello and welcome back to another Doctor episode. I'm your host Teddy, and today I'm being joined once again by
Hayden.
And today we're going to talk about the TMNT the 2003 Season 2 Episode 15, City at War, Part 2. So, yeah, what do you think about this episode briefly?
In brief words, crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I have to say that this episode was better than the first episode. A lot of good action. I don't know, but did it just feel like it was going at a very fast pace? Like, we didn't have too much time to really breathe, and everything it had to just keep going to the next big scene without giving the viewer time to just take it all in.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was definitely, for myself at least, I couldn't even keep up what was actually going on half the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, just because I do think it works for what they're trying to do with like, the whole cities going at war and all that. But for this to be taking place over like one night, I think it is going extremely fast when you get other episodes which takes place like over a few days. It's just, I know, it works, but also at the same time it doesn't, which is it's hard to tell if it really does work or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, it is full of stuff that's happening all at once, and sure, they could be put over a few days, but might as well put a jam-packed one in. But yeah, but I've got a lot to say about this one. So yeah, it's going to be one of those episodes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, with that, I'm going to start with just all the smallest things. I know that this is not necessarily going to be in like chronological order, but because of like how the main story is just focusing on Vitel's fun robot and then going off to fight the like Karai, I'm gonna leave that bit for just a second, just because there's like a few other small bits which a little bit out of chronological order, so I feel like it'd just be easier for us. Okay, so for one of the first bits, we got to see Karai. She's on her airplane, and she's able to upscale some footage of Leonardo, and says that it's interesting. Do you have anything to say about that scene there?
To be honest, not much. It was really cool to see Karai again and to see her in this like different environment. Of course, it was really funny that how she could just magnify the image. Like, security cameras don't really do that. Like, they can't just magnify instantly into like a single image. It's a bit more complex than that, but it was quite funny just to see it happen. It's like, yeah, it doesn't really happen in real life, but just seeing the image just being blown up like that, it's like one of those scenes where it goes enhance, enhance, enhance. Like, in real life that doesn't work, but I guess she's got like some really good cameras in that dojo, like some really high-tech ones that are beyond comparing of real life ones. But yeah, no, I found that quite funny. But yeah, no, nothing too much, but it was pretty cool to see Karai. Like, she's this very, from that scene, it was like very headstrong, a very much of a businesswoman. Like, she's very down to business.
Yeah, well, I'm going to leave all my comments about Karai until the next episode, because that's when I feel like I'll be able to truly talk about Karai, because there's which I don't want to talk about, but I just can't really talk about it just yet. But I'll say that with the scene, for me it was really annoying, just because, I mean, I'll say like nothing wrong with the actual scene itself. It was just more the fact that with the scene, she was able to enhance this version of the Turtles. Now, if you've seen this version of Turtles, it doesn't have the best quality, especially when you're looking at something like Raph's neck, which is basically like non-existent throughout the whole show, and she's able to upscale a clip of Leonardo. It's just like, they're really pissing people off. It's just like, they can do that, and yet we can't. Like, it's annoying, but at least we've got a somewhat higher quality clip, sort of. So, yeah. Okay, so the next bit after that, we do get to see Dragonface. He's in the Pearl Dragon ring and saying, "Oh yeah, come on, we want to fight dragons, fight the foot and the mob and all that." And then Hun comes in, it's like, "Oh yeah, well, you know, I own you and all that." What do you think about that scene there?
I really wasn't expecting to see Han back again. Like, I thought Han was in hiding or went MIA, missing in action, and then of course he just appears out the blue at the Purple Dragon's lair and now starts running the place again, I guess. Like, of course, Han was originally part of the Purple Dragons, and of course he left to join the Shredder and the Foot, but I really wasn't expecting him to just to come back out of the blue and just reclaim his whole empire, basically. Like, Han is now the head of the Purple Dragons, like, in an instant. And there was no quarrel or disagreement because everyone knew Han would absolutely break their backs in. So, yeah, there was no fighting there, but it was just really funny just to see Han come back and like demand everything from the Purple Dragons, even though he left them in the first place. But it was really cool to see Han come back to the Purple Dragons and now lead them again as a Purple Dragon leader. With all this like knowledge that he knows about the city, about the Foot, and how different people operate, like he's like built his own little army, like his own empire of sorts. Like he's calling the shots now instead of Shredder. Like this could be a really diverse power play here that's gonna occur. Like you've got the mob now, you've got Karai, and then there's Han, who's now running the Purple Dragons. There could be some conflict between like Karai and Han because they're on different sides now, so it could mean a whole variety of possibilities for them to like battle it out against each other.
Okay, well, with that, I do agree with part of your comments, and also a part of it I do somewhat disagree with, and one specific point which I feel like is going to change your opinion on it. So yeah, I'll just say that with the Hun stuff, coming in with like more knowledge about other factions, how they're how to deal with stuff and all that. I do find that to be like quite interesting because throughout Hun's character arc throughout the whole show, it is quite interesting to see like how he goes from like leading the Purple Dragons to being Shredder's right hand man, and then afterwards going back to reclaim the Purple Dragons and building up to be a bigger operation that takes on the government. It's like really fascinating to see like how he's able to incorporate his like relationships and all of his knowledge with other characters, and is able to use it to build up other parts of his life, which I do find rather interesting, and seeing how he's able to take what he's learned from Shredder like now, and how to do what he does to the Pearl Dragons in this story arc, and then seeing later on in the show where he's able to build the Pearl Dragons up even like further to be like a big threat for other characters. It is quite interesting to see how they are putting like in like these like little fragments of his character in like early on, which is like really nice to see, and also seeing like little character growth for his character and seeing that he's more than just like the big strong guy. But with some of the comments in this scene here, they were a little bit stupid in a way, just because everyone's going on about how the Pearl Dragons are involved in this gang war and all that kind of stuff, and yet Dragon Faces are like, well, you know, we own these streets, we're going to go out and do all this stuff. Have they actually been involved in this war whatsoever? It doesn't sound like it. So, what's going on there?
Yeah, now that you mention it, I don't think, like, sure, they act tough, they act big, and they want to be, but I don't think they do it. They say a lot, but they don't do a lot, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but it gets a lot worse, because Hun goes on to say that basically everything that Pearl Dragons do is for the Shredder. So why are the Pearl Dragons fighting the Foot then, if they're basically on the same side?
Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, why are they fighting? Hold on a minute, what? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's just so stupid. I mean, I could understand if, like, basically, if they were to step up a little bit more and saying that basically the Foot and Pearl Dragons have different ideals of why they want to take over the city, but it just sounds as though that the Foot want to do it because it's Shredder's turf, and Han wants to do it just because he used to like work for Shredder and he thinks he owes it to him, Shredder. Like, why are they fighting? It would make more sense if, like, both of them would go up against the mob or something, or even bring in a new faction. But at the same time, we don't actually get to see Pearl Dragons actually fight anyone except from turtles. So why are they even involved in this war? They contribute nothing to it.
Yeah, they do nothing except be an annoyance to every other group fighting.
Yeah, it's annoying because like there's so much potential to do like a lot of good stuff, and Han's a really great character. And it just feels like we're just going back to last week's episode with like Leo and how stupid he is with everything. So, oh boy. Yeah. Okay, so one of the final like little small scenes which we do get to see is Mikey stupidly runs into April's shop after being chased by the Foot, and April gets annoyed by all this. Yeah, what do you think about that scene there?
Okay, but before we do that little scene there, I just want to ask and say it was really cool and really awesome to see the Foot and the Turtles fighting alongside each other to defeat Stockman's robots. I thought that was really cool, and I just wanted to put that in here because I just thought that was a really cool little scene. Like, for just a split moment, the Turtles and the Foot, sworn enemies.
I want to save this little bit to actually when we actually talk about that point.
Yeah, I know, but it's just an awesome little thing that I wanted to put in here. I know we're getting sidetracked, but it's just a thing I wanted.
We will be talking about that scene in just a minute.
Oh, sorry. I thought. Right.
I was talking about I was talking about all the small things first.
Of course.
And then it's going to go back to the main part of the story.
Right. That makes a lot more sense now. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun, as they say. Do continue.
To it. What do you think about the bit with Mikey going into April's store?
Right. That
For a second time.
That was kind of funny. Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm not with it today. So basically, with that little scene, I thought it was kind of funny and kind of stupid at the same time. Like Mikey leading the Foot right to April's brand new refurbished shop, and after everything that April's been through, she doesn't want it to get just blown up again by the Foot. So I can understand her reaction to what's going on. But no, I thought it was really funny because Casey was a bit sad because he wasn't invited along to this fight. So it was really funny to see that happening as well. And of course, just April trying to get them out of the shop before the Foot come and blow it up again. It was quite funny to see that whole little scene taking place.
You have to say that I do enjoy the scene for the most part. I mean, Mikey's whole plan, I can't really blame him because it was like a last minute thought and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, where else was he really supposed to go? I mean, he could have gone back to the actual fight, but I mean, even with a point later on, Leo taking everyone to the water tower thing. I don't understand why they don't just go back to the lair because it's hidden. No one's found it before, and they have Master Splinter there. I don't understand why everyone's going anywhere else but the lair. It's just annoying. But I would have to say that with the end bit, which I don't know if you was thinking anything. You most likely do have I don't know, like a 4-page essay about this, about April coming out and saying, "Be careful, guys." Like Casey going. I enjoy how they are setting things up slowly for and their relationship. I'm guessing you got something to say about that.
Yes, I did pick up on the fact that April muttered underneath her breath that "be careful" to Casey. You can definitely tell there's some sort of relationship developing between the two characters because we see April and Casey in the shop, and of course Casey's helping out April, and you just pick up on the small little hints where Casey refers to April as babe and all that, and just April playing along with it. She doesn't mind it. And of course, it's those little parts that you see there. It's a development of a relationship going on there. But I thought it was all right. There's nothing too serious going on. Some of the audience might piece together what I'm talking about. But you understand, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do think I'd say it's going to say a very organic way, not really being forced into a show, unlike 2012, which just feels very forced in, creepy, unlikable. Yeah. In this way, it just feels like very natural. I wouldn't say it's anything which I want to. It's not something on top of my list which I want to see. Be like, oh my god, those two characters shit them or anything. But I do like how they'll send things up, and it just goes in a very nice organic way. It doesn't feel like it's forced in, or incest, or bestiality, or anything like that. So at least it's normal.
Yeah, normal as it can be for now. Yes, but no, I agree with you. It's a very organic. The 2012 version, don't get me wrong, it was the 2012 version's good, but how they force the relationships, like with Donnie and April and Casey and April, it's very forced, and
Or Leo and
it becomes
Karai.
oh yeah, that too. Oh god, don't want to get into that. But
Well, I
yes,
did
it's
say keep it in the family.
oh my god, we can't say this. Oh jeez, gonna get striked for this. But yeah, no, it's very forced, and to be honest, it becomes very. There's no other word to describe it. It becomes very cringe and unwatchable. Like it's too forced, and it's like, oh, this is. It doesn't flow properly, and it becomes very unwatchable. Like you want to skip this whole episode because of it, you know. But in
Yeah,
this version, it's very much more organic.
yeah, you know, I'll say like going off of that point, I would just say for like with the 2012 ones, it's either for like relationships are really forced in and really weird, or the relationships are sometimes there when they need to focus on the relationship for like an episode or two, but then and get to see the characters like won't interact with each other for like about like a season. So it just feels like it's like I know, because I say for like relationships in 2012, it's either like they're very focused on it and unwatchable, or they don't focus on whatsoever, but bring up once every so often, and this feels like they can't like fully commit to something, or when they do, it's just the worst. But here, it feels like they are committing to it. They're going to have a very organic pace, which you're rooting for them, but at the same time, you just don't really care too much for it. But at the same time, it would be nice to see if it happens. So yeah. Okay, let's actually talk about the actual main story, because I've got a feeling we've got a lot to talk about this bit. Okay, so we do first get to see the turtles and the foot. They start fighting the robots. I know that you've already mentioned a few little bits about this. But yeah, what about that scene there?
This was actually a pretty cool scene in my opinion. The robot just destroying everything, the whole chaos of it all, and of course, I've spoken about this a bit early on. Apologies, but I just really thought it was really cool to mention. Seeing the Foots and the Turtles, two sworn enemies, might I add, fight alongside each other for just for a brief moment. I thought that was so cool, because I've never seen this side of the two enemies. Like, I've never seen it before. Like, I've never seen the Foot fight alongside the Turtles for a common goal. Like, it's so foreign, it's so weird just to see that happen, you know. But it was actually really cool to see. Like, they're both fighting alongside each other, and you got the normal Foot fighting alongside the Turtles and the Foot Elite as well. And I'm surprised that they didn't attack the Turtles when they were most vulnerable in the fight. But they realised they needed to take this machine out before they could do anything, because it will take them out before it would take them out before they could do anything. And so they collectively thought, okay, let's fight together for a brief moment to destroy the enemy, and then we can go back to killing each other, you know? So it's like a small little truce, as I say, but I just found that so cool. Like, it's, even though it was brief, like very, very brief, I just thought that was really cool. Like, two sworn enemies come together just to fight a common goal, you know? It was so cool.
Yeah, I would like to say that it also does like heighten the threat level of the robot. And I think this goes to show just like how and just all danger that was in. And it was like really great to see them all fighting, and just showed like how like dangerous it was. I mean, one of my favourite bits was a little bit later on, where we do get to see like from the point, I think it was either from like the soldiers or Hun's point of view, we're looking down, and you could see the turtles fighting it, the Lee and all that. And then you get Donnie just hitting it with a stick.
Yeah,
I know we were talking about Leo, how shook he was in the last episode, but I think this might
Yeah, Donnie might take the cake on this one.
Yeah, what was his plan? He was just and the bit which I'm talking about, he literally just standing there, just hitting it, and what was he trying to do? I mean, I know Mikey could be stupid sometimes, but this is supposed to be the smartest guy in the universe. Are we sure about that?
Yeah, after this episode, I'd have questioned Donnie's intelligence. After he's made all these amazing equipment and all these inventions, and somehow he's still terrible at fighting with a stick. Like, I don't know. Surely he could come up with a better strategy than just whacking the thing with a stick.
He makes me look smart, and that's a very bad thing.
Oh god, yeah. Oh god.
Oh no, what's well come to?
Yeah, no, we're at a point in time.
We're doomed.
We're dead. We're so done. We're so done.
But yeah, so there was a little scene where you get to see Leo. He tries to help a bus full of people before Raph tries to ram on the robots with the bus. Anything to say about those scenes there?
Not really, no. But to be honest, I don't understand why the bus would come into the fight. I know it was probably doing its normal route, but surely you could see the danger. Surely you would hear
and all
the
the
danger.
smoke.
And the smoke, the gunshots, the fire. I don't know, the giant robots blasting everything to smithereens. Like, surely you would stop and think about where you're going next. It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go around this neighborhood. I'm gonna go and miss this stop. It's like, I hope everyone's okay with that. I kind of value my life. I don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, well, okay, so one cool thing which I think you probably missed was that with the bus and the driver and the passenger which they saved, those were all things which were reused from the episode The Younger Things in Total Titan. It was that bit where Mikey was trying to sort of drive going off the pier. So I thought that was like quite cool to see all those characters come back.
Oh,
but
okay. That's
yeah. It took me 20 years to realise that, so I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I would have never known. I thought these were just random people.
I thought that too until I was like, oh yeah. I mean, I have to say that there was one bit, like weird bit. I understand all of Ruff's actions throughout this whole bit, trying to ram the bus into it. Why didn't he just jump out the window and not put a seat? I don't understand why he put a seatbelt on if he's going to ram it, and why didn't he jump out the window, I think. And then the main thing which I have a problem with this bit, which I feel like you're going to have a few problems with this, is that he moans at Leo going, oh man Leo, why are you saving those people? I feel like what he said was very self-explanatory for what Leo's trying to do.
Yeah, I tried to understand what was going on there. It was just a bit weird how it all played out. Like, Raphael, he was like on a kamikaze mission, like it was like a suicide mission basically, like just to ram into that thing and hope for the best. Like, what was he gonna do? Like, in that situation, he's gonna like sacrifice himself for the greater good and just ram into that thing, potentially killing himself in the process, which is weird and illogical. And yeah, going back to your point about jumping out the window at the last moment, like that would have been much better sense. But hey ho, this episode. I
feel like this story arc is doing the tools. He's just dissing them a lot. Like, these are supposed to be like some of the smartest characters, well-written characters, and yet we got Donnie hitting a metal robot that's destroying buses and killing foot soldiers with a stick. Are we sure these are the best heroes this world needs?
Yeah.
Should I just move on because I got a feeling it's going to be.
Oh yeah, no, I think I'm going to lose it.
Okay, well, one bit which I think you're going to, again, a lot to say about. We've got the army involved. Was you expecting that?
To be honest, I wasn't expecting the army to get involved. To be honest, I thought they were SWAT, not army, so maybe like a militarized police force. But yeah, no, I thought that was pretty cool seeing the army come back in, like New York. Like, you know, New York's gone to like hell basically because the army's in here now trying to maintain peace and order. You know, like martial law's in effect. They've got the police, military police coming in. They've got their SWAT vans, guns, roaming the streets. Like, you know, stuff is pretty bad when that's happening. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool to see the police, but it was also a bit of a shame, like, how they were easily taken down by a few gas bombs or gas attacks. I'm not too sure what they used to attack the military police, but it was kind of a shame. Like, surely you would have backup, like, surely you would have drones or a helicopter or someone watching the door. Like, surely that would be in the training.
Okay, well, so with the army, I do think that it would have been cool if they were just up as the Protection Force. So the Protection Force, or the EPF in Turtles, is basically a group that's run by the government and is supposed to be protecting the Earth from alien threats and all that stuff. It'll be something which plays a big role next season, and it's a character which you'll love. Which I don't think they had like any intentions of doing that for this season here, but I think it would have been cool if this was like the groundworks which they do later like pay off in like season 3, but unfortunately it isn't. But I do think that maybe it could have been, or something along those kind of lines. So headcanon it is. Yeah, with the whole army thing, yeah, it was annoying that they weren't used too much, but some others should have. Okay, a few more rants, shall we say? They're using a helicopter. They don't use the helicopter to send the army down. Instead, they use a car to drive up right up to do all the bombings, and then like, yeah, no, let's back out and go up to a building. Okay, let's talk about the Hun scene with him blowing up everyone.
Yeah, I think we should. I can feel the tension in the room right now. Like, you're about to lose it. I'm about to go on a rant, and it's gonna go in a constant circle.
It's annoying because I want to talk about the good stuff. No, it's annoying because and you've seen like all, like this show, like how good it can be with story arcs and the characters and stuff like this. Which there's a lot of stuff which I do enjoy about this episode, but the stupidity. Oh my god!
Yeah,
and they got paid for this.
Yeah, I know. This is the thing as well. Like, as the audience, we see it from a different light, a different perspective, how it could have played out differently. And as I've been watching these episodes with yourself, and just watching how the Turtles have become this dominant force, and then slide back into this stupid amount of stupidity, I just can't even fathom at this point. Like, surely, there's so many points that can be changed. Like, you're supposed to be an elite fighting force. Like, there are so many good characters, but they're underutilized, they're underperforming, and it's starting to get annoying now, because surely they would be the most OP characters in the series, but they fall back into this stupidity again, and it's just annoying, because you want to talk about the good stuff, you want to see it happen, but you can't, because it's so stupid that it kind of makes you realise, is like, are these the actual best of the best, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, like, going off of that, is just that I think that you could basically like do the whole story arc, but like keep it like the characters as the normal selves and don't like try to dumb things down, because I think that it only ruins the story arc and the characters. I mean, had they been like all at a normal capacity, I think that it would have made everything like 10 times like better, and also like make all the stakes a lot higher, because you know, if you got like Donnie at his full capacity and not hitting the robot with a stick, like, you know, I mean, because it's annoying, because most of these characters are really great characters and the story arcs, and I do think, and all the creative people on the team that are writing it and all that kind of stuff, they do an amazing job. It's just that had they been at like all the characters been at full capacity, I think I would have been like a lot more invested in the story arc. Because I'm doing to see like all characters, you know, and see them at the highest, the point, like peak of skills and all that, and they still find it difficult. That would be amazing. But yet you see something like this where the characters are not really, and they're trying to make it out to be like a bigger thing, which is just more annoying. But yeah, okay, anyway, moving on, because we'll probably be about going on about this for 10 hours. The Hun shooting up the place. I know it's a little scene, but why not? Anything to say about that bit there? I thought it was cool. Not too much of it.
Crazy to say the least. I wasn't expecting Han, the purple dragon, to whip out a rocket launcher and start blasting up the place. Like, I did expect the purple dragons to have that sort of firepower on them. Like, especially like with everything going on, like they just rock up with guns, machine guns. Han's got an RPG. He's blowing up the place, and I'm like, how can this get any more crazy?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. There's not much I can really say about it. again, why is he trying to blow up the foot if basically they're on the same side?
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay. One of the next bits we do get to see, which is a decent one, Mikey running away from the foot and having a Captain America moment. Yeah, anything to say about that bit there?
Yeah, I say Mikey having his little Captain American, Captain Rogers little moment there with the bin lid and just throwing it at them. Managed to take two of the ninjas out, and then he goes to crack one of the ninja skulls open with the ladder, which I found very funny. Like, I think that guy might need to go to the hospital after that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say that with the Captain America bit, I can't lie, it's a really great fanboy moment, just being like, oh my god, like two like franchises I like, all coming together, almost perfect. And he just like cracks, like breaks, like see, like breaks the collarbone. And stupidly, he leaves the ladder down for him to climb up.
Yeah, I think. I don't know why he did that, another stupid moment, but it was pretty funny though when you just hear that cracking of the skull.
Yeah, I mean, it was good, but at the same time, this is supposed to be a TV show for kids, and, you know, just casually like, crack someone's whole chest open.
Mm-hmm,
Why not?
Yeah. Why not, yeah. PG, yeah, what about it? Let's crack someone's skull open and break some...
Surely good times.
Yeah, those were the days.
But, yeah, I mean, I'd say that overall for those bits, it was good. So yeah, okay, yeah. So then we do go over to the last section of it. So okay, yeah. So let's talk about the first bit first, with the with a bit in the water tower with Raph and Leo fighting. Now, I would have to say that I don't think that the argument is as strong for Raph as it was in the last episode, where it was. Well, I'd say that the argument between the two, it was very much you can't really decide who's actually in the right because they're both right in a way. It just depends on how you view the situation, which I did enjoy, and it was something which we did praise. But then, like, going to this one, it was sort of becoming a little bit like, why are you trying to get out of the fight? You're you know, you're like very involved in the fight now. You can't exactly walk away from it. So, yeah, what do you think about that bit there?
To be honest, I didn't understand the arguing again. Like, surely, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, Raphael is trying to say some good points. He wants to stay out of it, although he's kind of lost the argument in that sense now, because he's saying like, oh, we don't need to be in this fight. It's only going to cause more issues. We're not going to try and save any more innocents. And of course, Leo's got a much more stronger backing with his argument, that I think. But it's just, guys, you need to calm down. Stop fighting and just think of your next move. Like, stop fighting. You are surrounded by warfare, people that are trying to kill you. You need to stop arguing and try and figure out your next moves. Like, it's just, like, I don't understand. Like, I really don't why they keep fighting like this. Sure, I know it's brothers and they fight a lot, but in this scenario, I don't think it's going to help anyone.
Yeah, no, I have to say that, like, with the argument, I can understand, like, why they're arguing, because of, like, Raph's point, and I like how he's strongly, like, sticking to it. I mean, even if his point now is sort of, like, going off the rails a bit, I can at least, like get behind him on his point, just because if this was 2012, I'd just say that, like, Raph's whole point of view of this whole situation would be completely different, saying it's all Leo's fault and all that kind of stuff. But I do like how Raph is still sticking to his original point, and it still does hold up. But I think that with how things have changed throughout the course of this episode, his like point is sort of like is not as correct as it could have been. So I do find it to be quite interesting with how he views the situation. But yeah, okay, the next bit. Okay, so I'm going to split this bit into two parts. So the first part is just the other ninjas fighting Mikey, Donnie, and Casey. What do you think about those bits there?
I thought it was pretty cool to see some different characters, like to see some more different ninja types. Like, these are Karai's personal bodyguard ninjas, and it was pretty cool to see how how they operate and how they move. Like one's a scout and one's like a foot soldier. It was really cool how it was all played out together, but it was also really weird to see how these ninjas like could easily defeat the turtles like in an instant, and just defeat everyone. Like, sure, I know they're more advanced ninjas, but surely the turtles have fought bigger enemies than these ninjas. Why are they becoming defenseless and beaten up now? Like, what's the value here of it all?
Well, I have to say that this fight scene, I really enjoyed how it was just like so different compared to other fight scenes with like the foot, and seeing them like just being flipped around. I have to say that like some of these like angles and shots of how they're doing it are probably like some of my favourite ones. With just like, and I just got to see like the foot soldier just spin Donnie around. And I just really enjoyed it with how everything looked with the angles, how they were being flipped around, and just the way they landed. Something about it, it felt different and just like a fun ninja movie without too many stakes. I think that's the best way to describe it. And then also, like, I'd say that Casey had some really great moments in this bit here as well. And it just reminded me how much I actually like Casey, because Casey recently, with how he's being portrayed in Turtles, has gone downhill so much. I mean, just like in the comics, he hasn't been used that much in like the past 5 years. The most interesting thing he's done is drawing Karai, but then they barely done anything with that. They changed Casey into a girl, which, you know, is not a bad thing. It's just it doesn't feel like Casey, and they don't use her that much, which is really more annoying. Even in the new Miss Mayhem universe, they haven't used her or him or whether they're going to go with for Casey. So Casey hasn't been used that all too much. And then even looking at 2012, he was okay, but not the best. More annoying than anything. And to see him like here, just doing his normal stuff, just want to fight, just getting into the thick of things, being sort of angry, and just waving his bat around. It was Casey. I mean, I know that like you're definitely gonna have like different opinions about this bit with Casey, but oh my god, Casey was back. I know that this was 20 years ago, but he was back for me. It's given me a lot of hope for his character. I know that as soon as after recording this, I'm going to go straight back to thinking that Paramount has ruined his character, but he was back for like 5 minutes. Okay, so for the next bit, which is the cry bits. So the first question which I do have to ask, and I know that I decided we should talk about last time, has your opinions on Karai changed a lot more now because you've seen Karai?
It really does. Seeing a bit more of Karai, even though it's only been brief, and of course it's like the second time I've seen Karai in this series, for this series at least. But I think Karai is a very headstrong, more business-orientated person above all else. Like, towards the end of this episode, she was more demanding. Like, she wanted to figure out a deal of some kind. Like, sure, she then decided to beat up the turtles first, and then decided to do a business deal afterwards. Like, it's a pretty random way of doing business, but hey ho, if it works, it works.
Hashtag girl boss cry.
Oh god. Oh, but yeah, no. Seeing Karai in this sort of light is very different to the Karais that I've seen in other series, such as the 2012. Like, in 2012, Karai is very headstrong as well, but she's mostly focused on fighting. She's not very focused on the business side of things. But like I said, this is only my opinion, and like I said, I've only seen Karai twice, but I'm starting to build a better picture of her now. That, to the fact that she's very different from Shredder. Shredder's more power hungry, while she's more strategic in her way of doing stuff. But like I said, this is only my opinion. I've only seen her twice in 2 episodes thus far, so it might change my opinion on her. It might change drastically over these next few episodes, but that's what my initial thoughts are on Karai in this series.
Oh, your opinions will definitely change in a good way because of where a character goes. And something which I can sort of like briefly talk about with like the comparison between like 2012 and 2003. I'd say for like Karai in 2012, was a pretty good character, but I think you can somewhat agree that she does feel a lot more like a plot device for how like the tales go around things, or setting up the conflict between Shredder and Splinter. She's a good character, but like basically like a bad, she's a bad plot device. But 2003 Karai, I think her character is a lot more fascinating, and I don't think she changes all too much in like the first this season, next season, with and the way that she goes around things, and something which I do definitely think that you'll find rather fascinating and interesting with because her whole thing is basically like she argues with herself between like honor and loyalty, which it becomes like a very fascinating thing with the way that she goes around things, and seeing like stuff like this, like seeing it here, seeing how she doesn't really like, even though she's doing some stuff which people like consider bad because she just farm with turtles. But I think that like once you understand the character a lot more, if it really does like fall in line with her character, surprisingly it doesn't really change too much for her character. Unlike 2012, which pretty much after the first like 2 or 3 episodes, her personality completely changed. So it's just so fascinating, like between like 2 different versions, despite being like the same character. So many different differences, some for the better and some for the worse. So yeah, but we do have a really great karate fight between Leo and Raph. Oh boy, yeah. What do you think about that bit there? And I did also have a short but great fight with Karai and Casey.
Yes, seeing those characters fight was really interesting. It was pretty cool to see Karai fight against Leo and Raphael. Like, seeing Raphael go headstrong into the battle with Karai, probably one of the most stupidest things he could do because he doesn't know the opponent, but still, it's Raphael. But yeah, no, seeing Leo and Karai fight for the very first time, and seeing that Leo can go up against Karai in a 1-to-1, now that sets a whole new playing field. Like, these two characters are like equals, and they can go against one another. Like, it's interesting to see this power play out, because it's interesting to see, because in like the other series that I've watched, like 2012, they're also equals. They also fight against one another constantly. But I think this is going to be very different to the series, because, as I said, Karai is a very more strategically focused individual. She thinks and schemes about all the stuff that she does. So I think it's going to be a very interesting development with these two characters. Like, these characters, I think they're going to be fighting quite a lot, and I think they're going to be like tying quite a lot as well, because they're both equals.
So just like with what I was saying earlier with the loyalty and the honor thing, like that does become like a very interesting thing between like Liu and Karai's relationship, like going forward. And I want to make it clear, these two do not have a thing whatsoever, so we can at least be happy and rejoice. But yeah, look, I'll just say that when he fought, I really did enjoy with the whole Raph versus Karai. We've seen like all that, and also Liu's fighting, like also like seeing like a very matched character, and I just find it like so fascinating with how they do set. I won't necessarily say like set things up for the future for this series, but it's just rather fascinating that with how much they like keep from this first battle with because that whole like rest of the series, Raph is still very much against Karai and doesn't trust Karai whatsoever, and we do get to see that in like in the very first interaction where Raph runs in, but like Leo wants to hear her out, and throughout the rest of the series, Leo does want to try to work with Karai and actually be on good terms, and Karai wants to do that as well, but at the same time, with her loyalty to Shredder, it creates like so many fascinating things, and I find it so fascinating with how like the first battle here very much like is like sends shockwaves throughout the rest of the series in terms of like how these characters will interact throughout the rest of the show without changing too much. I just find it so fascinating to see like they don't change all too much, but and do get to see later on in the show how it has become a lot more interesting and fascinating with how they interact. It's just so like fascinating. I think that this is something which was definitely missing in like 2012 show, where it's just like, yeah, everyone hates Karai and Cry just, she likes Leo. So, yeah. But also, what's Cry's whole plan? Like, to blow everyone up and be like, yeah, I want to talk.
Yeah, her whole strategy with that one, it really eluded me. Like, why did you wanted to do a business deal, right? And then you decide to blow up the people. You decide
She's almost
to
as smart as Dawn hitting the robot with a stick.
Yes, I don't understand. Like, is this her character development? Is she like playing this to throw us all off? It's really weird. Like, now that you say it, like, I don't know whether it is she's strategic enough to even like be strategic. Like, she's blowing up the people that she wants to make a deal with, and now they're fighting, and then when they're down, they decide to do a deal. I just don't get it. Like, surely you would.
And how did they survive an explosion? Like, that was like right under the foot, and then and you can see like all the stuff underneath where all the wood is like all surrounded them. But yeah, I can understand because and tells how to jump up. But Casey, how's
Casey not dead or gravely injured? Like, there should be shrapnel everywhere. Like, maybe this was a weak bomb. Maybe they wanted to do this. Maybe they planned it. Maybe they wanted to scare him and make him a bit weaker.
And none of the neighbours woke up and heard him be like, what are you doing? What are people thinking below them?
Oh my god, yeah. Imagine if they fell into the floor. Like, imagine if they fell
those
into the
bloody
pot
pigeons.
below. Yeah, it's like, God, these pigeons are getting bigger by the day. It's like landing on the roof, even though there's an explosion. Oh god. Like, it could have been very different. Like, the whole water tower could have just fallen off the building and crushed someone or did some more damage. Like, it was very weird how that played out.
Yeah. So, yeah, what do you think about this episode overall? Do you think it's a lot more stupid than you first realised?
Don't get me wrong, I loved how they developed this story with everything, like, going to, like, hell, basically. Like, the chaos of the gang wars, everyone's fighting for turf, and it's just utter crazy. But really, when you look deeper into it, it's a bit stupid. Like, surely you've got everyone. You've got Stockman, you've got the Foot, you've got Kurai, you've got Han, the Purple Dragons, you've got everyone in this episode. But just how they go about it and how they think about doing these situations is a bit undermining. Like, it's a bit stupid. Like, don't get me wrong, great characters, but they weren't at their full potential. Like, they surely could have done a bit better, in my opinion. Like, in my defense, like, it's a great episode. I love the chaos, I love the warfare, I loved Han with his RPG blowing everything up, but how you think about it and how it was played out, like, how it was very undermining, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just say that, like, this show, I think, is definitely one of the better versions of the Turtles, and I think, like, you have the same opinions as me.
Yeah, I think this is one of my favourite series that I've seen thus far. Like, this is more my style, I think. Like, sure, you got the other ones, but they're more cartoony. Like, this
I wouldn't
is more...
even necessarily say that. I think it's just more the way of the way of went around it.
Yeah,
actually making developing the characters, developing the world, and just make it like so intriguing as you want to watch it with consequences, lore, and history. I mean, 2012 does have that, but I think it's targeting a different kind of audience. But I feel like this one is trying to target like comic book people. It doesn't talk down to the audience. And I think that because we have seen quite a few really great episodes which showcase their interactions with one another, the character arcs, stories, and all that kind of stuff. And they've proven themselves to show that they can do some amazing stuff. Probably some better stuff which they're doing now in terms of stuff like streaming and the movies nowadays. And this was 20 years ago. And when you get stuff like this, which I don't think is a bad episode, because there's all stuff which I really didn't enjoy, and I think it was limited by the fact that it was only 20 minutes. But I think that with a lot of acts that happened in this episode, with them just doing a lot of stupid stuff, it doesn't feel like it's the same version of the Turtles. But it's annoying because you've seen what they can do, and then seeing where it goes afterwards, and seeing that this is calls for like a lot of decent stuff is annoying because you want to love it, but it's just hard to when you've got Donnie hitting a robot with a stick.
Yeah, it's probably one of Donnie's not brightest moments, I'd say.
It's a Mikey moment.
Yes, a Mikey moment.
Yeah. Okay, so do you want to hear some trivia about this episode?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so the first one is a very not an obvious. No, okay. So the first bit of trivia is very obvious because Michelangelo references Captain America by saying, "Captain America, eat your heart out."
That was pretty obvious, but yeah.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Yep.
Okay, so at the beginning, Michelangelo also referenced a quote from the Broadway musical Wicked, but it doesn't say what the quote was, so...
Oh. That's helpful.
Yep. When Karai threatens to kill Leonardo, it's similar to when Shredder did the same thing in the first movie, having Leonardo pinned to the ground by the enemy, which, yeah, I guess is a reference. Yeah. Okay, so for the cast, we got so major characters is just the four turtles. So we didn't think about including Karai, Casey as major characters, or in the foot. Great going.
Yeah, we've already done it.
Okay, so for the cast, we got Donatello voiced by Sam Riegel, Leonardo voiced by Michael St. Nicholas, Michelangelo voiced by Wayne Grayson, Raphael voiced by Frank Frankson, also known as Greg Abbey, April voiced by Veronica Taylor, Casey voiced by Mark Thompson, Karai is not even doesn't even have a the person. Why does she have the actor's name? Either way, the character was voiced by where's it say? Karen Nielli. We got the short and tall Karai's foot soldiers, but they don't have voice actors, despite them saying stuff. We've got the Mob Boys voiced by David Brimmer, Baxter voiced by Scott Williams, Han voiced by Greg Kari, Dragonface voiced by Critic Leak, and that's it. Okay, now for your favourite part.
Oh no.
Okay, so what do you think is going to happen in the next episode?
And
it's the final part to his story arc.
Right, okay then. This is the final part. I think Karai's going to talk to the turtles about some sort of business deal or some truce or something along those lines. And I think the gang wars are still going to happen. I think we're going to see Stockman maybe again. I highly doubt it, but maybe see Stockman again. I think we're going to see a lot more fighting, which I hope so. But yeah, no, I really don't know. After seeing how crazy this episode's going to be, this episode's been, I don't know what I'm going to expect for part 3 of this.
Okay, well, one bit which is talked about in the episode, which I'm a little bit curious to hear your crazy theories, whatever you want to talk about. So, okay. With one of the bits that happened in the episode, we did get to see Karai explain her origins in a way of like how she became to be, and like I want to know like why do you think Karai is the way she is? Knowing your life, you probably just say that she was probably raised by aliens or something. Knowing your crazy theories.
Well, that was my first go-to, but
Jesus.
Now that you say it, maybe I'm thinking. It's like this is completely off the top of my head right now. I'm thinking maybe Karai was adopted by the Foot when maybe she was a child, perhaps, and then Shredder became Shredder's student, and slowly together they built like a bond. That's my go-to at the moment. I know my first one with Alien sounds a bit mad, but after seeing this series,
Not really, the whole thing was Shredder, so in a way, yes.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I mean, the origin is close to what happens. I would say that.
Okay, cool. Because at first I thought Karai was another alien. Like I thought Karai was like a husk, and then of course you had the Utron
Oh,
in like.
she's normal.
Oh, thank God. Okay, because I'm thinking Karai's another Utron, and it's Shredder's daughter or something, and Shredder had another Utron. It was a really weird story, but that's
I
where I
think
was
that'd
going
be
with it.
rather concerning especially with his war crimes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like it'd be
most
rather
likely, yeah.
concerning with who he got with.
Yeah, no, that does
I
make
don't think he'd even
sense.
stop with Karai there. I think it would go
Oh
on.
God, yep. I think we should stop
Especially-
there.
Yeah, okay. Okay, moving on to the fun part. Oh
Yep.
god, no. No.
Oh wait, what? Wait.
Moving on to the... well, where I put it, it won't work because of what we were just talking about.
Yeah, no, this I didn't think. God, I can't speak. I didn't think this.
Let's just put a pause in this conversation and move on to the next bit. Who do you think is going to be starting the episode?
I think next week. I think we're going to be starting with Raphael.
Oh my god. You're correct.
Yes.
Yep, and it won't happen for long. By next episode, you'll lose it.
Yep.
But well done! Woo!
Hey, did it.
Well done.
To be honest, I think it's because I did Raphael the last 2 episodes, so I'm thinking it's got to be this one.
Eventually, I'll get it.
Eventually, I'll get it, and it was Raphael. Finally. The next week it's going to go back to normal, and yeah. But I'm going to save at this moment because it's been a while since I've got one right, so I'm gonna take this as a victory.
Yeah, okay, yeah, do you have anything else to say about this episode, or it's all done with this one? I feel like we definitely said a lot more than what we probably should have with certain elements.
Yeah, I think we have too. I think we said a lot more than we needed to, but it's because how crazy this episode's been. Like, there is so much to decipher, and I'm thinking we've missed out a few bits as well. But we want to give you guys, the audience, the best views and the best opinions, what we think about this. So we do apologise if we do miss some bits out, but yeah, no, I think it's been a very crazy episode this evening.
Yeah, I wish I could be a bit more positive towards the episode, but I think if you've definitely seen this episode, then you know then you understand stupidity. Yeah. So, this has been another episode of Talking Tales. I've been your host, Teddy.
And I've been Hayden.
And we'll see you all soon. Goodbye, yo. Bye.
Bye.